How's it going, everybody? It is Maddie here today, bringing you the second week of the Ham Radio podcast.
And it is me, the Lone Vault Wanderer, joining again with a better microphone.
My name is Noah for the fourth time. Fourth time recording this fucking intro. Anyways, Matt, continue.
So we have a fourth guest today. As we always do every week, we invite one of you to join us on this podcast. This time we have Nissan or Nathan. Go on, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, what's up?
All right, cool. And we want you to be that fourth member, as I previously iterated. So be sure to tweet at any of us using the hashtag HamRadioTime with your clever answer to the following question. What was your most facepalm-worthy moment in a Bethesda game? This was courtesy of a viewer of mine, so thank you for sending in that question. We thought it would be good for you guys to answer it, and if your question is hilarious enough, we'll pick you to join us on the podcast.
Sounds perfect.
Question could be about anything. It doesn't have to be about Fallout either. Okay. Not that person.
No
Be
hits Fallout secretly.
When did you lose your virginity? Like, we don't need to talk about that. Just just
All right,
what's your
this
favorite
podcast got
burrito to
dirty
get
real
at
quick.
Chipotle? Like, I don't know. I like the carne
It
asada.
did get
Anyways,
dirty real quick.
Anyways, we want to cover a few questions that you guys asked us throughout the week about the podcast. A few things we didn't cover. Number one is that you can expect this podcast to be up every week on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can adjust that time according to whatever time zone you are in. So I wanted to first, state that, because that was a question that I've been getting quite a bit, and I don't know how we forgot to.
I know.
this is
cover that one.
professional.
By the way,
as fuck.
everyone, I won't be here for the next podcast, unfortunately. So you're going to have to tune in on
that's
Maddie's
great.
channel.
It's
I'm
just
sorry,
it's gonna
guys.
be a little less Australian. Great.
Oh, man. I have to put my
Another
dingo
thing I
away.
wanted to cover is the reason we want you to follow us is so that it's a lot easier to contact you when we do pick who we want to have join us on the podcast, because we can just DM you instead of like searching for ways to contact you. It's just easier for you to follow us,
Yeah.
and then we just pick one of you to join us.
Also, it makes us feel a little bit more internet famous, or me at least.
Yes, it raises our ego.
Anyway,
Noah's like, all
only-
these people following me. Yeah.
yeah, rolling in followers. Yeah.
Only a few more things to cover before we get to the news roundup. A lot of you guys were suggesting we do a live show, and the reason why we're toying with that idea. We have a lot of ideas on the plate. We're not sure where we want to go with it, but right now we kind of want to focus on having you guys listen to this, whether you're on the go or doing something. We don't want to have listeners kind of struggling to find this podcast, or if you miss a show, then you can like go to the VOD or on the Twitch, or you can go to the YouTube channel, or it could be like available audio wise. I mean, it just seems a bit scattered, where we figured it'd be a little more concise if it was just on a video and you could just kind of listen to it whenever you chose to.
Mm-hmm.
And the final thing is the timestamps. In the description, if you want to listen to anything specific, you don't want to stay tuned for the whole podcast because you're a douchebag or something, then by all means, click one of the timestamps and you'll be able to go to whatever you plan on listening to.
90%
Anyways,
of the people won't listen to this podcast.
yeah.
Straight to the viewer questions.
Anyways, I had to take a drink of water. I was hoping someone would cover me there. Anyways, let's
Sorry,
move
guys.
on to it's all good. Let's move on to the news roundup for this week. Starting off with Bethesda Game Studios senior designer Joel Burgess, which I believe I miswrote his name. Oh well. At Game Developers Conference 2015. What do we have to say about this? I made a whole video on it, so I'll see my thoughts until the end.
No,
I think him being at GDC is pretty cool. You said he was senior game designer?
Yes,
I think that's pretty cool. I think I feel like he'd be there more as like a mentor
I agree.
for like
Yeah.
other people rather than actually doing anything. That's just my opinion.
Mhm.
But I feel like he'd be there more as like a mentor for others than anything.
Well, do we know what other Bethesda staff are actually going? So is he just the sole representation? Or
He is the only one there.
yeah,
so.
okay. So yeah, it might just be in that sense. They just wanted some representation there.
Yeah,
And
maybe
he
like
was a good
personal
pick.
pleasure.
He was free or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like I made a whole video on it because everyone thought like it had to be something about Fallout 4, and I was just saying that I think he's just kind of there to, like Noah said, be a mentor. You know,
Yeah.
just kind of set
Really
some
funny.
example.
That's
You know,
not
let me finish.
Noah, stop interrupting. Fuck.
Yeah, really. fucking good.
Okay,
No,
here's
I
the
need to
comments.
stop interrupting.
I feel like he's
Fuck
just
the
kind of
fans.
there to give some of his knowledge out. I mean, he works on some fantastic games, so
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this, Nissan? You're a little quiet over there, buddy.
Feel free
Same
to
what you guys
just-
said. Like he's just gonna go there to kind of talk to people and
Yeah,
see what's going
yeah,
on. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nothing big there. Nothing big there. But things get interesting, ladies and gentlemen, and Maddie's about to get heated.
Oh, here
All
we
right,
go.
so Pete Hines is the only Bethesda Game Studios representative to attend PAX East. That's totally fine. And the way we found out was a bit upsetting because he responded to a fan quite harshly. Because
really
the fan asked,
cold.
you know, are you going to PAX East, Pete? He was like, yeah, I'm going there to, you know, do some panels and stuff. And he said, will Obsidian be there? I think he asked something very simple like that.
Yeah.
And Pete Hines decides to respond in probably one of the most cold fashion. He goes, seriously, learn to take an answer at face value and move on.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know that. That's pretty.
I usually step up the bat for Pete Hines and like I'm like, nah, don't give this guy shit. But like this is one of those things where it's like
I think
like
yeah.
everyone calls him a dick, and it's like this time you're asking for it.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Well,
think Pete was having a pretty bad day there.
let's speak about Pete Hines generally, and we don't want to get in trouble with this podcast or anything, but we all know that he has a really, really tough job. I mean, the amount of shit that he receives because Todd Howard doesn't have a Twitter, and he's pretty much the main point of contact for Bethesda. He receives a lot of shit, so I can see at times he gets frustrated, and not all the time I'll agree with him. But this is one of those instances where I was like, Pete, that was just a simple question. It wasn't like, Pete, is Fallout 4 going to be announced? Are you going to be there with Todd Howard, etc.? Being really pressing like that.
Yeah.
So
I'd say Pete has one of the jobs up there that is just like any of the PR guys for like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You know, that where they just, if something's wrong with the game, I mean, and I'm subject to doing this kind of shit too. You know, we played Black Ops 1 and shit, and we would blame like
Vonderhaar.
Was it Vonderhaar? Yeah. Funny story. Matt knows this, but I was on in I was a sophomore, I think. And anyways, it was like I saw him tweet, David Vonderhaar. I saw him tweet like saying like, oh, you know, playing Call of Duty at like 3 a.m. Haha, I'm so cool, or something like that. And I responded like, what are you, 12? And he responded to me.
Oh no.
He responded to me saying, play to your audience. And I was like,
nice.
I was like, David, shots fired. So
That was funny as hell, though.
That was my interactions with Vonderhaar.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I was just taken back a little bit there. I mean, I understand he probably gets the same tweet millions of times a day about, you know, do you think Fallout 4 is coming or something? I don't know. Do you think Fallout 4 is coming? I meant, he says, when is Fallout 4 coming?
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I can understand getting a little irritated, but like,
I'm sure Elder Scrolls stuff too. He probably gets that kind of shit too.
Yeah,
like,
but
it's
it's
just more, you know.
I don't know why he says learn to take an answer at face value and move on. It's just his go-to answer. Like he basically said, seriously, shut the fuck up and leave me alone.
Like,
That's
stop asking. Like,
He must have been having a really, really bad day, but we all make mistakes like that, so obviously I'm not gonna really care. I still respect Pete Hines for what he's done, but
same.
Yeah, you know, as soon as it happened, Maddie and I messaged each other like, "What the fuck? What just happened here?" That was me.
We were like, "Damn."
I think he zipped his penis in a zipper after taking a pee-pee that day, and he was just like,
God.
and then saw that
Nissan. Oh no.
Content ID.
No.
Anyways,
damn it. Anyways.
we got some actual news now. You know, that was just a little discussion there. Here's some actual interesting news where the discussion's really going to take off. An industry insider by the name of Shinobi602 is essentially claiming that an E3 2015 reveal for Fallout 4 is coming. He posted a tweet saying the following: Fallout 3 gameplay debut E3 2008, release October 2008. Fallout 4 gameplay debut E3 2015, and the release with a bunch of question marks, and he told us to believe. Apparently, he's made a slew of accurate predictions. I did a brief amount of research on the internet. He's made a bunch of accurate predictions based off information in the past. So a lot of people are believing him.
Yeah.
Real quick, you said is he in the industry? I missed that.
That's
part.
the thing. I looked at his Twitter and everything.
No
I don't
one
know
really
where
knows.
he's come from or like what he does.
Maybe he knows somebody and it's not publicly known. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like people follow him for his inside information.
I mean, maybe he's an
I
industry
hope
insider and he just knows a bunch of people. I think that's what it is.
That's very well put. Him and Peter are neighbors.
Yeah.
They talk while mowing each other's lawns.
Exactly.
Like, hey, bud.
I can't bring up any specific examples, but like I've seen people say in the past that like, you know, this guy has predicted something and it's come true. I can't. It's been bigger games too. It's been accurate predictions about bigger games, whether it be like when a trailer's coming at a certain convention or something. So I'm a little excited that he said something like this. I want to get your thoughts on this. I know Lone Vault made an entire video on this.
I made a video on this, and I'm surprised you didn't as well, Matty. But
I'm saving it for the podcast. That's
yeah, I kind of broke that, didn't I? I apologize.
Yeah,
Look.
Don't let it sit. Yeah, do what you want. Yeah,
The way I see it is that I'm not taking his tweet as hard evidence. If you actually read it at face value, it can be taken as a personal opinion. It could be taken as an actual leak. All I'm doing is using this as a little bit of evidence to back up my original prediction that we would get something at E3 of this year. I don't know what you think about this, Nissan, but for me, that's all I took it as.
Yeah, like hopefully, like he's right, and like we'll have something to follow up for. But I don't want to get my hopes up and be like, oh well, now we don't have anything. So
that's kind of what I'm like. I'm still on the. I'm just like until I hear it from the mouth of
horse of the mouth.
Petey over there. You know, I'm just gonna. I don't know what's happening.
I'm on the fence too, but it is a little relieving hearing from an insider that something's coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot better. It's kind of on par in the same way with like Kotaku, because like Kotaku, Jason Schreier was saying this whole thing about how like, you know, he heard from an insider that a reveal is coming in the next few months. And obviously we'll find out if that's true or not at PAX East, but it's kind of on that same level where he just heard something. It's
PAX
not
East or E3.
PAX East, because he's heard this in December. He said this, and he said he heard something was coming in the next few months.
Yeah,
and so I'm guessing that would the only event in the next few months was either PAX South or PAX East.
I'm still afraid that they're gonna show a trailer at E3 for Fallout 4. It'll get like announced, but it won't get released for another like 3 years. I'm still scared of that.
Well, my opinion on that has changed slightly. The way I thought about it is that in 2008, or what was it, 2007, there was the teaser for Fallout 3, and then it led up to the gameplay reveal in E3 2008. Yeah, so I don't know how far back that teaser went, but the way I see it, the longer and longer it takes for us to get some sort of teaser, then I think it might be, the release date that is, might be pushed back to 2016, because if at E3 2015 is the first time we see anything, then Noah, you're right, a 3-month turnaround is too quick, because in 2007, 2008, I think there was maybe 8 months to a year lead up until that gameplay reveal.
Because we all know the marketing team over there is just fantastic, and they're not going to want to just do this in 3 months. They're going to want to drag this on and make this, you know, and it's going to be cool. You know, again, once we know for a fact the game exists, like from their mouths, then it's going to be cool. You know, we're going to have awesome, these shows. They might even do like these like part by part dev things, because I know they love to do the making of type of videos, you know, and they're awesome. They're really cool to watch. You know, if you haven't seen them, watch the making of Fallout 4 and Skyrim and
Fallout 4.
You've
seen that?
3, New Vegas and Skyrim and stuff. Those are all, they're like 40 minutes long, and they're awesome videos, you know.
Cool.
So I feel like they're going to want to do something like that.
Yeah,
I'll be happy with just a release. Sorry, go ahead, Nissan.
The thing with like, the longer the game takes to make, the better it's going to be. So like when people are like, oh no, now we don't have an announcement at you know, this event or whatever, in my mind it's like, well, that means they're probably doing something to make the game even better than before.
Exactly.
Right, because I don't want this fucking, you know, like, play the beta for Fallout 4. Okay, well, it's broken, it doesn't work, and then a month later, nothing's fixed. You know, I don't want them to EA us or Ubisoft us. You know, I want it to be a solid game, and I think it will be. You know, I have confidence.
Definitely.
The reason why I think we will see something at E3 is because Bethesda's a big publisher, but I don't think they publish enough games each year for them to justify having a conference every year. But I feel like if they're going to have one conference at E3, they're going to show up, go big, and then go home, literally. Like, you know.
No, that's a really good
That's
point.
the only reason why I'm pretty confident we'll see something at E3. But
I am too. I'm confident we'll see.
I don't know if we'll see
whether or not it'll be
gameplay.
Whether or not it'll be released this year is like the main.
That's questionable. It is very questionable.
I think that's the thing.
I think everybody's in agreement that this year we will see something, but in terms of whether the game's going to be released this year or not, that seems less likely as more time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see if the game exists. You know, I'm pretty confident it does. A lot of people say, like, everyone, you know, a part of the press, like IGN or GameSpot, is just saying that, you know, it's obviously in existence. But if you're like, from our perspective, you know, we
maybe
look
not.
We look at it so often, Fallout 4, and we're like, well, maybe not. There's a chance that it might be something new. But then I say to myself, well, you know, maybe they'll like hand off some of their series, like go to another developer and have them make another Elder Scrolls or make another Fallout game. I mean, I would be fine with that. Obsidian did a fine job with New Vegas. It aged a lot better in Fallout 3 in certain ways.
That's because it ran on Windows 7. without 70 mods to do.
Yeah, Nissan has seen like my massive amount of crashes on stream.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, that is a little discussion on the industry insider. Oh my god!
Well done, man.
Failure.
Industry insider.
Library and tomorrow.
I just move on to the next thing. This one is yet another update about Fortress Fallout. Should be the final one.
Yeah.
Basically, the game name will be changed because Bethesda kind of put them in an arm lock, and since they have much more money and lawyers at their disposal, Captain Sparkles and his development team didn't really have much of a choice. Now, I want to discuss this because I had a little bit of a backlash on my channel. A lot of people didn't agree with what I had to say, which was that I feel like Bethesda was just kind of defending what they have and just trying to avoid confusion. But a lot of people got upset that I said that fan base was so stupid that, you know, they would get confused between an app and what Fallout 4 actually is.
Yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with the fan base being stupid. I think it's just them not wanting the name Fallout on something.
Exactly.
Granted, now there were some interesting comments on the fact of Fallout being like an open domain and stuff. In the cases of stuff like this, if it's a similar type of, if it's a game, if it was like a painting called Fallout or like a movie, well, maybe not even a movie actually. If it was something other medium like a song, it probably wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But because it is a video game and both of them are video games, I think Bethesda and Obsidian and stuff do have the rights to stop it.
And I think people, like, especially people giving Maddie criticism for that, you need to look at it at a different perspective. Yes, fans of Fallout will know that Fortress Fallout is not associated with that, but you're going to have a lot of casual and lay people that don't know about Fallout because, yes, they do exist. Especially,
oh shit.
Yeah, I know. Like, especially because this is on the App Store. So you're going to have a lot of people searching the App Store, seeing this thing called Fortress Fallout. Oh, this is cool. I'll play that. And then they might make the connection with the original Fallout games. And that's what Bethesda is worried about. It might not be the hardcore Fallout fans. It might just be the general public. And that, they're absolutely right to be able to protect their IP because any good business would do that.
Yeah. And what you just said is actually something that's really big right now is brand similarities. You know,
of course.
When Minecraft went to mobile, if you go on and look at the top free and stuff like that right now on your iPhone or your Android, whatever, you'll see a bunch of Minecraft copies that the brands look exactly like a lot of the stuff that Minecraft, the Pocket Edition does, like in terms of even the screenshots, just even the app, the application icon will look incredibly similar for the sheer fact to make you think, you know, a casual player, someone who doesn't really pay attention to it, will look at it and be like, oh, that must be Minecraft.
That's actually a really, really good point. I mean, do you guys remember Flappy Bird and how there are so many different knockoffs and copies of that?
Endless.
Now, can you imagine if Fortress Fallout gained popularity and then you have all of these copies on the App Store with the name Fallout in there? Could you imagine how pissed off Bethesda would be? And I think that's something they're really worried about.
A really bad snowball effect, you know. So I mean, really, they did it to cover their asses. And I think Captain Sparkle, I know Captain Sparkle's uploaded a video like a day after we put the podcast out. Literally saying that he wasn't canceling the game, but he was changing the name of it. Now, I truly don't know anything about the mobile game itself, whatever he's making, but I did know he said he's probably he is gonna scrap the name and they'll come up with something new. You know, so, and he read the letter too and showed it. It was, you know, it was pretty interesting. It was intense, but not like mean. It was just
I just don't like how Captain Sparkles responded to it with like, he was well, I don't get, like, if I use the word the, if someone should I copyright that? If I use it, I'm like, stop, dude.
Like, you're missing the point.
You clearly don't get it, and you shouldn't be doing this if you don't get that. You know, it's like one of those things where it's like, I understand you're salty. I'd be salty too. I'd be, you know, I can't imagine what kind of position he's been put in, but like, I just, it's one of those things where it's such a simple thing. I wouldn't use the word Fallout in a game if, like, I'd want to use something separate, because last week Lone Vault made a beautiful point that wouldn't you want to have that game not filter into a bunch of other you know, it'd filter into all these other Fallout games. It'd be silly.
I think it's from Maddie and I's perspective, we deal with SEO, search engine optimization, all the bloody time. So I'm always wary about what to name my videos, and that's how that idea came into my head.
Good point.
That's a really good point.
Anyways, that is the news roundup for the week. A lot of interesting stuff, a lot of debates going on. Anyways, third segment of this podcast, our Fallout, and we've added this time Elder Scrolls to it, Spotlight. Each week we highlight a certain moment in either of these games that we really thought was unique or special or just something that we rather enjoyed. And we talk upon it. So I'll let Nissan go on. I'm going to call you out. You go first.
First.
I guess I was modding Skyrim because that's all I do.
It's a great life.
And I was trying to. I started a new character, and with the mods I have on, it makes the game a lot more challenging. And I had to actually sit there and like think of how I was gonna take this guy out at Bleak Falls Barrow in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there trying to think out like I have to actually use my brain instead of just running in there with a sword and shield and beating the crap out of the guy.
That's awesome. That's cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because Nissan. Fun fact about Nissan. Nissan fun fact. He actually like took the sprint mod that I had for Fallout 3 because I said, I like to be able to sprint in third person. He's like, I can do that for you, and he literally just sent me a file, and then all of a sudden I could sprint in third person.
That's awesome.
Nissan, you did that?
You can mod.
Yeah.
I didn't do the sprint mod, but sprint mod forced it into first person, so I just took the first person out.
Yeah.
Do you have any modding experience, Nissan, at all?
I was gonna say you have a script editor for that.
Yeah.
The GEC actually has a script editor in it, so I just went in and just like ripped the coding out, and
That's pretty
that was
cool.
good.
I might
That's pretty cool.
That.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Who wants to go next? Who's got a good spotlight?
Noah, you can go.
Oh,
I'm still thinking.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go Skyrim this week. I think
right.
my one of the moments I remember was back when I did do YouTube a lot. Also, this brings me back to someone commented on the podcast saying that I still have, quote unquote, I still have fans out there even though I don't post videos anymore. I want to thank that person. That was a very nice comment. That was very nice of you.
That's
Anyways, also fuck you. Burn in hell, you piece of shit. I'm never coming back. Anyways, I'm just kidding. But what's it called? It was during my Skyrim for Dummies series. And I remember trying to figure out how to find building materials. This isn't really like a memory, like a fun memory, but I just remember it taking me for fucking ever to figure out how to get building materials for the Hearthstone DLC.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I remember
God.
that. We were playing on Xbox together.
Ever.
Actually, I think you got up early, and you found it, and
I
like,
think
you
I
just told me how to do everything so that I didn't go through that same struggle.
It took me like an hour and a half. Well, and like that doesn't sound like a lot, but like imagine just talking to random people, like trying to figure this shit out. It was so cryptic.
Oh yeah, because they had like those places with the logs, and you could talk to
it was like
NPC, and they might be selling logs for your house or something
that,
like. I think
like they'd magically add like these new text options to like the Jarl and stuff, and it was like, how am I supposed to know that? Like, I'd have to.
Yeah, they didn't handle. Not to interrupt you. They didn't handle implementing DLC well in.
Well, it was just the
Skyrim. I felt
didn't exist.
It's like sometimes the characters that would initiate the DLC wouldn't run up to you, or like there'd be certain conversation options that you just have to naturally find.
It should have just thrown the quest right into your life.
I much preferred it in like Fallout 3 New Vegas, where just bang, notification, you have this quest. Yep. Go trace down this marker and go have fun. I like that.
Go
a lot
find
better.
Werner or something. Much simpler.
So that's my highlight.
All right.
I guess I'll go next.
Yeah.
Because I'll break it up a little bit because mine's a Fallout highlight. Recently, to just get some gameplay for some of my videos, I was playing some Fallout 3, and I ran into an area that I don't know how, but I swear on my life I have never been into.
That happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Maybe I've been there and I just don't remember.
Yeah.
But it was the Corvega factory, which is really the car.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Fallout 3?
Yeah.
It was like a car factory, and I thought it was so cool walking in there and seeing like all these cars that you see littered around the open world of Fallout are inside this place. Like it's where they all came from. I thought that was so cool. And then at the end there was like a giant ant queen. I was like, oh, this is so cool and different. I loved it.
That's
really
so
cool area.
Car factory. But I think I remember that because they had all the cars like on the line still and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's kind of neat. I think I vaguely remember that location.
Yeah.
I never been there before, and so like I was walking around, I was like, this is cool. So this is where all the cars kind of came from for this area. There's like this actual car factory. I thought it was a little cool foresight, kind of brought the world to life a little bit because it was like this is actually where they came from. I don't know. It was one of those little things that I thought was like that's interesting.
It's even like when visiting the Nuka-Cola factory, just something like that. It's
or the Red Racer factory. I think that's in Fallout 3 as well, where you see like all these little red tricycles like along the little conveyor belt. That place is creepy.
I was gonna say that one's creepy as hell. That one brings me back to my Metro walking around and to my last Fallout highlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
all right, so my turn. So there was this time when I was just playing on the Xbox 360 where I wanted to 100% every single game in terms of achievements. So I did Modern Warfare 2, I did Assassin's Creed 2. I'm like, yeah, I'm starting well. Let's go on to the next game. And then I decided to do Fallout 3. And if you've ever done all of the achievements for Fallout 3, you know how fucking long it takes. But at the time... Yeah, I've done it, and for New Vegas as well, and including the DLC. But I didn't realize at the time how long it would take. So I'm thinking, yeah, it'll take like, I don't know, 20 hours or something like that. Yeah, no.
How you're so wrong.
But that's what really, I guess, started my love for Fallout, because I'd played it before. I didn't really appreciate the game like I should have. And then I finished all the achievements, and I'm like, wow, I've spent hundreds of hours in this game. I fucking love it. So I'm really appreciative of that fact that I stuck it out, because I found the game that easily to this day is my favorite game of all time, just because I did all the achievements. Because it makes you explore everywhere. It makes you, talk to all the people, do all the quests, and appreciate a side of the game that you might not appreciate if you've just played the game doing the main quests or not really exploring.
Yeah, I was gonna go for the platinum trophy. I love getting platinum trophies on my PlayStation. It's a rare occurrence for me, but when I go for it, man, I go hard. And I was gonna go for it for Fallout 3, and I made a video just for it because it just kept crashing on me. But I was looking at some of the trophies, man. Like the karma trophies are probably the hardest, I'd say, because it just requires so many playthroughs.
No, this is a trick with the karma trophies, and I remember that, and this is how I organized it. So when you get to a certain level, like level 9, and then when you go to level 10, that's when you have to be a good, neutral, or bad karma. So what I did when I was at the end of level 9 and I needed, like, say, a couple of hundred of experience points, I would save at that point, play as I normally do, go to level 10, and I was already at good karma. And then I would go back to my old save, kill a bunch of people, and that would make me bad. And then I would be bad at level 10. And then I would do the same and be neutral at level 10. So that's how I actually organized it. So I didn't have to do multiple playthroughs.
Smart. I never even thought of that. There's ones like the hack 50 terminals. Holy shit, I feel bad for you now. 50 terminals probably was hard because there's also 50 lockpick.
It was a lovely summer. It was a lovely
summer. I don't know. I hate to sound like a dick, but I feel like those
like the lockpicks are, but like I hardly hack. I feel like in Fallout I hardly do.
Fallout 3 you hack more than you do in New Vegas. If I remember correctly.
No, New Vegas barely had any terminals. That was fucking annoying.
Yeah.
And then when you did, you just, for PC you click E and you could just open it. That'd be it.
Exactly. Console commands. So useful.
You guys are cheaters.
Anyways,
no.
Wait, you gonna say something?
No, I only use console commands when I'm making videos. That's it. I don't use it in my normal playthrough because that's cheating.
Matt just does it in stream. Matt's like, screw it.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck it, God mode.
I sit there and give you like 1,001 ID codes.
Oh
yeah. Every time I'm like, all right, guys, I'm missing something. Can you send me a code real quick? Because I don't feel like looking for this fucking conductor or something like that.
Nissan just has a bunch of codes prepared for Matt on each stream.
He finds them in like 5 seconds, so he must be really quick.
I started doing that in Starbound. I started just using console commands. I was like, I'm not going to do this. But anyway, that's a totally different game. But
anyways, speaking of different games, let's move on to the next segment where every week we talk about what we're playing. Some of us are playing the same games again. Some of us are playing new games. And I have 2 brand new games. So let's start with I'll start off with the first game I'm playing because it's the newest one, and that's the Order 1886.
Debate time.
Controversy. Yeah. So my review just came out for this game. If you're watching this podcast on the day it came out, it just came out yesterday, and I have to say I loved it and I hated it. It was like the world, the atmosphere, and everything. Like I loved it to death. The story was fucking awesome too. But like for some reason they would just force you to walk these extended segments where you do nothing. Yeah. And when you pick up like an item, you inspect it for like 20 seconds. And that may sound like, little things, whatever, you could deal with it. But that's because there's like it's a third-person shooter. So there's no like gunplay in between or anything like that. And the game kind of spoils itself because you can't take out your gun when you're doing these walking segments, which sounds very weird to say.
Yeah.
But like when you can take out your gun, enemies are coming. So it kind of spoils itself too.
Yeah.
And so it just breaks up this flow where it's like, we get that this game looks super fucking good. Like, you don't have to even tell me. I can see with my own 2 eyes that this game looks awesome. I don't get why they made us walk these slow segments and appreciate the particle
Yeah.
effects and the models. It's like
It's a peacock. It's got to flaunt its own feathers.
I have to ask you,
good
Matt,
one, Noah.
what's your opinion about the length of the game? Because there's been so many videos, Boogie, I think Total Biscuit made one, Review Tech USA, about, it's only 5 hours long, but the video that was on YouTube was just a fast playthrough. So what's your opinion on the length of the game?
I thought the length. Well, here's the thing. It took
Let
me
us put it
about.
this way, if it came out yesterday and you already put out a review and you beat it,
Yeah, that kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, that does, but it was 8 hours long, which is a normal single player length, but that's not.
I think 12 hours is normal.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's the
gonna
thing,
say 8
like-
hours normal.
Well, here's the thing, though. This is my issue with it, and I'm keeping this spoiler free, mind you all. So it was 8 hours long, and I was satisfied with the game length. It was one of the first games in a very long while that I could sit down for like almost the entire game and just play it straight through because I was really gripped.
Yeah.
So the length really kind of worked in that way. But the thing is that the game ended where it shouldn't have. So the game could have been longer, and that's where the length kind of works against itself. But in terms of the actual 8 hours, I wouldn't say it justifies $60, but you could easily wait for a price drop and pick this game up and it'll be worth your time.
So it's a sale game.
It's a sale game. I don't think that the length should be as big of a controversy as it is, because you look at games like The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which I think is like 2 hours, or Journey. I'm just thinking of games off the top of my head.
See-
Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is a perfect game because Lone Vault's played that.
I
These
love
games
that
that are
game.
like very short but tell fantastic stories where
But
you don't need
granted,
to.
those aren't full-priced games. The ones that you
Exactly.
just described. So
Now, and I'm going to say this too. Here's the issue I have is the fact that not only is this game an exclusive, but like we've said, it's a short exclusive.
Mhm.
How often do these kind of games go on sale? Not that often.
Not
It would
that
be a
often.
while. It'll be a while because it was a
Now,
big gun for Sony. That's the
what
thing.
what I mean by that is if it was like a PC also game, like it'd probably go on sale in the summer sale or something, but it would also probably be like 20% off or 15% off or something, rather than like $5 or $10 off that you would see at like GameStop.
Well, here's
know.
my unique little podcast suggestion for those of you who listen this long. You're about to be rewarded. If I were you, the summer never has any games. I'm assuming if you wait for this game until the summer, this game will be like $20, and that's going to be the perfect time to
I
pick
don't know
this up.
about that.
I really think 4 months down the line, this game will be significantly dropped because it's still selling a lot. So
because it's a new game, because it's a new next gen game, it's not gonna be $20. It's gonna be like $40 maybe. I'd say for right now, it's not gonna hit below 40 for a good year.
Yeah. Well, look,
you're out of your mind.
personally,
No, dude, I'm dead serious on that.
Well, look, personally, I don't diss short games. They serve their own purpose. As Maddie said, I've played Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, and I finished that in one session, loved it. It was awesome. But I think the price of the game has to be in proportion to the length of the game, and especially when the game is solely single player, which I believe the Order
no
1886
multiplayer.
is.
It's a good
So
point.
if you don't have that kind of those additional features like multiplayer or whatever, you really need to at least put some hours into the single player, and so it's not just fetch quests or just walking around for hours on end. It should have some meat behind it and be a bit meaningful, especially if you expect people to pay $60 in America or $90 in Australia.
Yeah.
It's
That's
kind
what
of
I'm
a bit
saying,
of a
though.
rip-off.
Like that's why I say like the length isn't bad. It's just it ended where it shouldn't have. So the game could have been like another 2 or 3 hours, which would have made it a sufficient length and overall a much better game because it just sets itself up for a sequel. It's like, well, fuck, now we got to wait 3 years to see if this game can actually improve.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
mean,
stupid.
have they talked about DLC at all? Or?
No,
and they're
they
going to charge for that too?
haven't. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
like,
see,
that's gonna cause so much shit. They'd be smart not to.
Yeah.
The game is a beautiful game. It like in terms of the way it looked, it is truly a stunning game. I don't doubt that by any means.
Yeah.
I do think, and I heard a lot of people say this, that the game marketed itself wrong and could kind of be more related to like a Heavy Rain-esque type of game where it's almost more like a movie than it is a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching gameplay of it right now, and the firefight and the shooting all looks fine and dandy and all, but
They don't have enough of it to justify it. as a
again,
game.
yeah, and that's the common complaint I keep hearing is that it gives you a little bit, but then stops,
Yeah.
and that and I mean common like all around. So I'd wait a while on this game, if I were you guys.
Yeah, I recommend the same thing. It's worth a playthrough at some point, but you don't need to rush out right now and buy this game, people.
Nissan, do you have an opinion on it?
No, you guys said everything I was going to say.
Nissan's not allowed an opinion. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, by the way, guys, use the hashtag Ham Radio Time and come on the podcast. It's awesome.
Yeah, do that in the middle of the podcast. That's totally
Anyways, I'm playing another game this week. It's a total polar opposite game of the one we just previously discussed.
Is it an anime game?
No, not really. But it's a game series that I used to love as a child, and it's been like annualized to death, but I haven't played it in so long that it feels kind of fresh. All right, I'm just going to say it because it was on sale. I couldn't help myself.
Shut up.
Dynasty Warriors 8.
I don't know anything about that game.
Neither do I.
I couldn't help myself, dude. I saw it. It was like, it's normally $40 and it was like $12. I was just like, I gotta buy this game. And so I did. And I'm not regretting it. It's fun. It's so stupid. It's fun. It's cheesy as hell. You kill like 1,000 enemies in a battle. It's one of those mindless games where if you're just sitting there like, I just need to, mellow out. I'm going to play something stupid. It's perfect for that.
Grand Theft Auto, yeah.
Okay, well, go ahead. Play a better game then.
No, well, I said that's why I wasn't insulting you by any means.
Yeah, but there's not much discussion to it. If you heard of Dynasty Warriors, it's literally a hack and slash, super crazy, unrealistic game that you should only buy if it's on sale. And since I considered buying it 1,000,001 times, when I saw it was like literally 75% off, I was like, okay, now's the time.
Yeah, you should pick it up.
Yeah. But those are the games I'm playing. We've talked long enough about what I'm doing. Let's hear what you guys are playing.
Okay.
Nissan?
I guess I'll go.
No, let Nissan.
Oh, no.
Let
Shut
Nissan
up.
go.
Nissan, you go.
Oh, I'm going? All right. I've been playing Star Wars Empire War for the past week or so.
Nice.
What do you
Now,
think
what
of it?
is that? What is that?
It's a Star Wars game, but like it's a strategy game. So like it's not your common like Battlefront or KOTOR game where it's like, oh, I'm gonna go here and kill someone with a lightsaber.
Is it a top down?
Yeah, isometric?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's kind of like Civ almost, like the same kind of like top down camera.
That'd be so cool. Not to interrupt you, but a Civilization Star Wars game. Oh, all right, go on. Keep going.
So Beyond Earth could have been, but no.
It's like Civ, but it's real time. So it's like it's not like turns. It's like you just you go and do stuff. So
that's pretty cool.
No, fair enough. Is it similar to that Halo game, which is top down? I can't remember the name
Wars?
of it. Halo Wars. Thank you.
Yeah. It's similar to Halo Wars, but not as like limited. Because like
Right. I don't remember Halo Wars doing very good, but I'm not saying this game does bad.
It has a cult following.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this game though. What's it available for?
it's on Steam.
Oh, really?
I think it's PC only game. It's
Is it multiplayer? Do you know?
Yeah, it's got multiplayer and everything.
Oh shit.
PC
What's the
Master
name of it?
Race.
Star Wars Empire War. I think it's like
Wars.
$20. Yeah.
Cool.
I've just heard this now. When did it release? It's
Like
not new.
years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not new, but it's
Oh yeah, you can see that from the screenshots.
It's $20 right now. If you get the it comes with the game and like one add-on that was like really big.
that sounds
fair
cool. I'm actually very intrigued by that.
Well, if you want to
I'm a huge Star Wars junkie. I could go on and on about how great Star Wars is, especially
I
its
feel like
games.
it does not play in a 1080p.
Oh, this
Is
it has 1080. It has 1080 resolution, but I mean it's really
upscaled.
old, so it doesn't
Yeah,
look.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
it doesn't
upscale.
look-
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look great, but it's still.
I mean,
it's
that's not a big deal to me. I'm just
Well,
curious.
for a game that old to run on modern PCs is a marvel in its own
I was
right.
gonna say,
Look
yeah,
at
exactly.
Fallout 3, which doesn't run.
Well, Fallout 3 it's not because of its age. It's because of they like solely released it to.
I think
like-
it's because they made it to run on Windows XP, and it's like, oh
Yeah,
shit, Windows
and that
7
was-
is now out. We look stupid.
Okay,
Terrible
it's so
decision.
weird. Like, a lot of people have problems with Fallout 3 crashing all the time. I first installed it on Windows 8, and I have little problem with it. Like, the only time
You are
I really get a
You are
crash
the
is...
one.
Yeah, it's when I'm entering a new area, it might crash, but literally, in like a 6-hour playthrough, I might get 1 or 2 crashes, and that's it.
Yeah, like,
I don't
I'm
have much
usually
problem.
all right myself. I get frame dips. That's what I get. Other than that, I'm usually okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Noah, what are you playing?
Me and you have been playing a lot of Insurgency. Not a
We
lot,
have.
but a good bit of Insurgency lately. It's kind of a fun, it's something different, brings us back to our competitive shooter days,
Oh, geez.
which
The
were
good
oh
old
so
days.
odd. what's it called? I've also been playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto on my 360 because I finally got my 360 hooked up after moving and stuff. So got that all hooked up. I've been playing a lot of that. That's pretty much it. You know, kind of taking it easy.
Yeah, fair enough. So I'm still working a lot, so I haven't been able to play much of anything this week. I'm still going through Dishonored. I also played a bit of Fallout 1 because my playthrough is taking so long to get through that. I'm up to the point where...
Oh, look what Nissan's playing. He just came up in the bottom right. He's playing an Empire War right now.
Oh, yeah, nice, Nissan.
I'm like, I'm trying to see if there's multiplayer for it because the Steam page said
Yeah, I was going to say, playing as we're on the podcast. Are we that boring for you, Nissan?
How disrespectful.
Hey, man, I'm watching YouTube videos on the podcast, so, you know.
What the fuck is this?
Screen.
I'm leaving.
I just stare at my screen.
Really? Yeah, I don't know.
I have like because I'm the one who I have the whole template up here, like of what we're gonna cover, and I don't like to forget. So
yeah.
I just keep myself busy. We're talking, you know.
All I gotta do is anyways, keep going, Lillibot. You were talking about Fallout 1.
Yeah, no.
Noah interrupted you. Is what the comments will say. Anyways.
God damn it! No. No, yeah, Fallout 1. I enjoy it. It's obviously different because I came into Fallout 3. So playing an isometric game when I started, I was like, oh, this is a bit weird. But it has its charm, and you find something that you really like about it if you do like Fallout. And I started doing a Let's Play of it, but then that kind of fizzled out, so I was just playing it on my own. And it's really enjoyable, and if you haven't played it and you're a fan of Fallout 3 New Vegas, it's not that, or if you're not a real fan if you don't play Fallout 1 and 2, it's that if you're a Fallout fan, then play these games because you'll enjoy it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. If you wanna play real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but right. It is a point. If you want to play something that's similar to Fallout 1 or 2, but you don't feel like going back that far,
Wasteland.
Playing Wasteland 2,
yeah, I bought that. I'm yet to really get into it yet.
They took a lot of, so those are very similar, and there's a lot of improvements.
That's a very, very hard game. I remember, I think it was Total Biscuit and also GoFar. I was watching their live streams of like the first couple of hours, and some of the characters died pretty much straight away, and that's unheard of. In, like, for example, Fallout 1, you rarely have a companion die. But in this one, this guy went, I think it was Total Biscuit, went into the first cave, and one of his characters died straight away. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
That's cool,
is hard. Yeah, it's immersive. And then you can just pick up more.
This little discussion here actually segues perfectly into our first fan question. We always have you guys send in your fan questions through the hashtag #HamRadioTime. And the reason why I wanted to quickly interject that is because the first question is from LouDude02 on Twitter, and he says, "Do you think if Interplay kept making Fallout, would it be somewhat quote better end quote?" So I felt like since we're discussing Wasteland, these top-down isometric games,
basically answering the question.
Basically kind of answering the question. Do we think that if Interplay still had the Fallout name, would we be seeing better games or more games? I think we'd be seeing more. I don't know if better would be the right term.
It's hard to improve that kind of genre.
Yeah.
It's a fun genre. It's a different genre, but it is hard to prove it. You're really just working purely on gameplay mechanics.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to see the graphics, so it's like they pretty much not the same, but they don't vary that much. So it's kind of like, the only thing you have to work on is gameplay mechanics. So I don't know about better games. I think it would really just be a whole different thing altogether.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be as widespread. You think about when it entered the first-person shooter genre and or I don't want to say first-person shooter because it's really just an open world.
Well, it's first-person,
but first-person shooting mechanics. I think that made it more relatable, and then the layers of depth that the game had behind it of lore and story and all this stuff made it much more interesting for those who decided to give it a wing, whereas most people are turned off from these top-down games, these strategy-based games for whatever reason. I don't understand because I used to be like that, and then I played XCOM Enemy Unknown, and like it just converted me. I was just like, okay, I like strategy games now. I don't know
that's what brought me into them too. As they're just so cool to see.
I think the landscape of Fallout as we know it would be completely different. Like, I don't know if they would have made the jump to console to start that off. And maybe they would have gone to like iPad or mobile because that's perfect. Like you could easily play a top-down strategy game on an iPad. It'll just work.
I've been saying for a while, I'd love to see them take the old Fallout games and bring them to like mobile, bring them to even consoles if that's even possible. I don't know how well that would work, but like bring these older Fallout games to the fan base. It'd be number one, a lot of fresh content for everyone who doesn't have a PC or hasn't played these games, and it'd be giving the series attention. I've always wanted them to do that. I hope they do some type of like, I said doo-doo. I really hope they do they do something along the lines of like a huge Fallout Ultimate collection or something. It's a wishful thinking, but it's so cool.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And a lot of time to focus on something like that. Maybe that's their big E3 announcement. Dear
Look,
God.
I just think generally developers need to get all of their backlog of games, because most developers anyways, or publishers, they have all these great games which are just sitting in their backlog. And I think the perfect example of that is Nintendo and Pokemon. Just put the Pokemon games on mobile. Like, what are you doing? That's guaranteed money. It's going to print money. Pokemon Red, Blue, Gold, Silver. It's not like it'd be hard.
Yes.
I mean, there are emulators out there already, so why not just do that and you're guaranteed money? Like, literally.
Yeah. Anyways, great question, Lou, dude. Moving on to the next question. This one's a little interesting because it's going to require a bit of thinking. This one comes from @Batman or _Batman Gaming _ on Twitter. He asks, what are some of the best features you saw change from Fallout 3 to New Vegas? This is a tough one because there was
none. No,
there really weren't. There were changes.
There was the ADS they added.
Yeah, but there were changes, but there weren't like. And maybe it's because I haven't sank as many hours into New Vegas as I have Fallout 3, but there weren't any like notable changes where I was like, this is so different from Fallout 3.
Well, Nissan,
if there were changes, they were kind of negative.
I noticed that Nissan has a New Vegas avatar or logo as a sky picture. So what's your opinion on that? Like, that's...
I really liked hardcore and the crafting because
how could I forget hardcore? I feel so stupid. All right,
I didn't even think about the crafting.
Are you even a real Fallout fan, Maddie?
I already see the comments.
My God.
Marty.
Yeah, it's just because like I've played my Fallout game, or New Vegas at least, focused towards hardcore. So like I think like Maddie, when you said you hadn't played hardcore before and you said you couldn't do it without cheating, I was surprised because I did like twice on the 360. I'm sitting there like, I'm like, how?
So you're just trying to make me feel bad on my own show here?
Not a real Fallout fan. Hey, I had to play hardcore to get the achievement, so I experienced that, and it was fun. But granted, I'm a bit of a pussy, and I was playing on easy because it was hardcore. Whatever, I don't care.
I left mine on very hard. That's one thing I did do. I didn't know that you could play on hardcore and then change the the AI difficulty or whatever you want to call it to easy. I didn't know you could do that until just now.
There you go. Play on hardcore, Maddie.
No one told me this on stream. Not only did I play on hardcore, but I played it on very hard. Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, all right, to be fair, I did go back and play it on very hard, but just for my first playthrough on hardcore to get all the achievements, I just wanted to be on easy. Yeah.
I would have done the same if I knew that was actually a possibility.
The more you know.
But yeah, I gotta say, in answer to the question, I don't know how I forgot it, but hardcore mode was easily the biggest and probably the best change because hardcore is what made New Vegas really fun for me because it made every area you went into useful. It made everything you picked up useful. Where as vanilla, or not vanilla, but like actual just normal New Vegas without hardcore was like there are these just throwaway areas like every now and so often. It was just like so that's why I like hardcore a lot.
Can I be honest about one thing? I know everybody loved how they put iron sights into New Vegas. I barely used them. I thought they were clunky. I hated it.
Yeah.
I was just a VAT spammer, to be honest, but the iron sight, it just didn't feel right. So I was either shooting as normal or just using VATs.
Well, especially with guns that didn't have iron sights, like with the plasma rifle, you just zoomed in. It was like looking at the top of a block. It was like, okay, well, this isn't really helpful. You couldn't center anything.
It's because what happened, what I noticed is that the gun didn't have, I don't know if I'm going to use the right word here. No, correct me if I don't, but it's like it didn't have any actual physics to it when you shot, where like it had like a normal idle sway left and right as you shot. No, because it was like, I'm saying from like a programming standpoint, they didn't do anything to make the gun naturally bounce as you shot. You just kind of wagged your gun left and right.
Yeah.
And it was just like a slow motion left and right. I wish you guys could see my hand right now. I'm about to turn on the Skype camera so you can see my hand.
There was no recoil.
Yeah,
there was a recoil, but it was like an idle sway.
Okay.
No, what you're describing, I think, is recoil. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it sounds like what you're saying.
I'm trying to sound complex. All right, let me have my moment here.
You're overly like complicating recoil.
No, I understand,
but I know what you mean.
But that doesn't sound right.
No, we understand.
I know what you mean. Like, it wasn't the shooting was not satisfying in.
I don't want like the
an ADS standpoint.
RPG from MW2 where you're like and you're like gradually like flying up the screen. Like that's not what I want.
That's not what you want. Okay, well done.
Anyways,
could I go back real quick to Empire
of course.
War?
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Shut up, Noah. Let him speak.
I looked it up. They shut down the multiplayer, but there's a program that allow it.
Of course,
to play
there is.
multiplayer.
Like
so
There always is. There always is.
I don't know. If anyone cared, there's a way to play multiplayer.
All right, cool.
Sure.
Moving on to the next question. This one comes from Ryan Daniels on my Facebook fan page. If you don't like me saying your full name, well, too bad. I did it anyways.
You shouldn't have used Facebook. No.
He says, what is your favorite game besides a Bethesda game? And you guys are awesome. Please don't quit YouTube till I die.
Oh, God.
So wait, does that mean when he dies, you guys can quit?
Yes. Yes.
Or, okay. We'll wait for that.
But the question is, what is your favorite game besides a Bethesda game? I know mine, man.
Shit.
I'll save mine for the end because I'm going to go on for a while, baby.
All right.
Oh,
All right.
Jesus.
Nissan can go first. I need to think.
Probably Halo Wars because
Oh,
That's
I
interesting.
play that like at least once a week.
Really?
Yeah, like I am obsessed with that game. Like
I was
that
not
game is so
actually
much
expecting
fun.
that.
So
We got
I
a
was
Halo
expecting
Wars
like
fan
Call of
here.
Duty Advanced Warfare.
Well, I wasn't expecting
God,
like
no.
Call. I just wasn't expecting
was
Halo
kidding.
Wars.
I was kidding.
Interesting. I think mine would probably have to be see I want to say Grand Theft Auto 4, but I also
Yeah.
want to say GTA 5. So I'm just going to say Grand Theft Auto as a series
Generally.
purely because I've just put so much time into just having fun with it. That is, I play it to this day. I just have fun going in there just doing my thing. Not even doing missions, just fucking around. I mean, I've beaten the game like 3 times, but
Yeah.
still, like, you know, it's just doing my thing, having fun, you know, the soundtrack, like everything I love about the game. So that's mine, is the Grand Theft Auto series.
Mine, even though the games don't have much replayability, is the Bioshock series. I fucking love that
Oh,
series
yeah.
to death.
That's a big one. Yeah, that would be a
Yeah.
big one.
Right.
Oh my god.
I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but if you've played Bioshock 1 and 2, the ending of Bioshock Infinite will be really, really satisfying for you. And I really
You-
like how that was just kind of a fan service where they tied everything back. And you'll see what I mean if you play through the original games and then play Infinite. So
Yeah.
I was
please,
gonna say, and
please
the
play.
DLC for
Have you,
Infinite.
yeah. Oh my god. Infinite's DLC is probably the best of
Incredible.
the entire
It's
Bioshock
absolutely
universe. You
incredible.
played it, Burial at Sea?
Yes.
Oh my god. I played it at the beginning of last year and I still can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
Like whenever people ask me, I'm not going to spoil anything. Whenever people ask me to explain it to them because they don't feel like playing it, I'm just like, I don't even know where to start. There's just so much to talk about.
It's impossible.
It's like you look at Ken Levine, it's like, what is wrong with your brain? How did you think of all this?
And then Ken Levine's like, all right, I want to go make the studio a lot smaller. See you later, everyone. I'm like, no, I want more Bioshock
Yeah.
from you,
Yeah.
Ken. Come on, mate.
Yeah, because now it's going to 2K Australia, I believe, which is a little interesting.
Funny story.
Would Ken-
So the 2K office in Australia, I was down near there at one stage, and you don't even know, it's just its random office. And I'm like, oh, okay. There's like no
That's
marks
how,
or anything.
That's what Rockstar looks like in New York.
That's
It's
how
just-
Ubisoft is in San Francisco. Like me and Connor were walking on the street, and we were there for the Far Cry 4 preview event, and like we see just across the street, just on like a brick building, you know,
Yep.
it's tied into a bunch of other stores and stuff. It just says Ubisoft, and you just can walk in and just like,
Yeah.
what's up? He's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, all right.
Rockstar, you do not know. Like I've been by the Rockstar studio, and not in it, but I've been like walked past it in New York, and you have no idea it's there. It's
Like,
just like a thing.
If I was to travel interstate again, I would definitely want to see it and see inside, because usually the inside of
Yeah.
game developer studios looks so cool.
Oh, it's so
They're
cool.
awesome.
Well, that's the
There's so
thing.
many
I think the reason
monitors
why
everywhere.
I think the reason why it's so shocking that like these offices are just there kind of is because you look at like Bethesda Game Studios or ZeniMax, whatever building it is in Maryland, and they're just like this whole entire giant building on like a street corner or whatever, which is what everyone imagines. Same thing with like Sony, PlayStation. You know, it's that kind of big building, but then like some of these bigger developers are just little offices on the street corner. Or
Well,
whatever.
and that
like,
also is
what?
because there's like sub offices. So
Yeah.
you know, I don't know this off the top of my head. Well, I know this. Rockstar's main office is I think is in the UK. I know they have an office in the UK, but I think their main office is in the UK, and the New York office is just one of them as well. And there's other offices,
Yeah.
I think as well. I think there's one in California, but I can't remember honestly.
Anyways, got a little off track there. What we
we
were
did.
talking about favorite games. I think everyone went except me. My
You're shitty.
favorite game besides the Bethesda game
Star
is
Wars.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah. Oh
Nice.
my god. All right, Knights of the Old Republic is the greatest series to ever fucking exist. It is my favorite, even ahead of Fallout, because it is
Ooh.
Star Wars. It is your own character. Every choice you make matters. And it's just, it's so much fan service, but it's so fucking cool because it doesn't tie into the movies. And
I was thinking about replaying it actually.
dude,
like recently.
if I ever want to do a 24-hour stream, I know what game I'm playing because
That's an awesome idea.
because
Yeah.
like if I ever do a charity stream, like I've always thought that's the game I want to play because I can play that. I can sit down from start to finish and do the whole 24-hour adventure right there. Like I love that game to death. It's really cool because I feel like Knights of the Old Republic 1 was like an amazing game all around, you know, huge plot twist, fantastic gameplay and customization, everything.
Mhm.
And then like 2 is so vastly different, Knights of the Old Republic 2, because it's this like totally darker turn on everything. Everyone's basically dead. It's really kind of creepy and it's so atmospheric. Unfortunately, it ends in a cliffhanger, and since the series is basically dead now, Matthew is
Poor
sitting
Matty.
here still very upset that his favorite
Write your own ending, Matt. Your own fan fiction.
Well, that's the thing. There's been a bunch of rumors about Knights of the Old Republic 3 now that EA bought the rights to the Star
I
Wars
doubt it.
games. Oh, don't doubt it, Noah. Don't.
I'm not
fucking
gonna
doubt
say I doubt it. That's wrong to say. I don't think it's coming anytime soon, though.
I could imagine Matty in his bedroom, just his Vita in one hand and all the Star Wars games in the other hand, just all sat in the corner.
I'm playing Star Wars.
it. No, but really, like it's in all less fanboy fashion, it's really a fantastic series,
is.
and I
Yeah.
really can't recommend it enough. Because even if you're not a Star Wars fan, it's still a
It's
really damn good RPG.
It's a
That-
classic RPG. As I
Yeah.
interrupt you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like and it's not like unaccessible where like you can still play it to this day and really enjoy it. It's aged well.
Hmm.
So I'm done fanboying about the game. I'll let it go.
Good.
That's my favorite game besides the Bethesda game. That was question number 3. Moving on to question number 4 from Twitter at @ThatGamingKing. He asks, this is a really good one. Do you think that all the Bethesda published games have any features that could end up in future Fallout games? For example, he
Ooh.
provides the way like bodies explode in Wolfenstein. So he's asking like, you take the Evil Within,
I see.
Wolfenstein, God forbid, Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh,
Could you
no.
see any of these features be put into a Fallout game? My choice, I want to get this one out of the way because it just hit me now, is you take from Rage that
Yeah.
that boomerang thing that
Yes,
you can throw, and if you cut
yes.
their head off, it comes back to you.
That's
Put that shit in
awesome.
Fallout.
That is awesome. I definitely I loved using that weapon in Rage, and I don't
Yeah,
know
it
why
was
people
so
don't like
fun.
Rage. That was so much fun. You're just
I
cutting
love
people's
that
heads
game.
off. Anyways,
It
I'm
was
done
so
fanboying.
realistic.
I downloaded Rage and I played about 15 minutes of it. And I got some stutters on my PC, and I was like, I'm not gonna play this.
It's a
game.
console
even
game.
though,
You need to
even
play
though
a
at the
console.
time, even though I was too cocky at the time on my PC to just turn the settings down a little bit, I was like, no, it doesn't run very good on high. I'm not gonna play it.
optimization
So I could
isn't
still, Yeah, I, was like, I still could re-download it and play it, but it's like it's a big
You
game.
need to give it a chance, Noah. You really need to give it a
I
chance.
want to, I really do,
Yeah.
but I just don't feel like
You
it.
don't even have to pay money. You can click download right now. And
I really
just get
could.
it
It's
on.
in my Steam library. It really is.
I mean, it's a pretty simple FPS, you know, but it's universe and gunplay is what's
Got a
like,
really
really
good-
awesome.
Cool.
And yeah, obviously it looks good for the time it released. I think it came out the same year Skyrim did, or I
It
might
still
be,
looks good. Like to this
might be
day.
mistaken. I'm not sure.
No, it came out before Skyrim.
Oh, did? All right, yeah. But Rage is awesome. I love that game.
Rage was awesome, and the thing that I liked about it, I remember buying it, and then a year later, they released DLC without anybody even realizing it. I'm like, holy shit, there's
They really?
There is DLC. You haven't played it, have you? There's
No.
there is a locked door in one of the main towns that you can now access, and that's the DLC.
That's it.
What?
No, and it's a quest. It's a quest.
Oh, it's a quest. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant you could just keep around here since you're building.
No,
about it.
because that was the time where I went 100% achievement. So me and my friend, we finished it 100%, and then a year later, he's like, "Oh, dude, we haven't finished Rage." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Look at my achievements. There's another 5 or 10 achievements to get." I'm like, "Holy shit!" They just released this DLC without anybody realizing it, and then we played
Sick.
it again. It was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That is cool.
I wish I played Skyrim on the PS3, even though it's entirely broken there, because I had 100% achievements on Skyrim for. Noah was in the party when I got it. Like I spent like an entire day
Oh, what? You did
grinding
Rage?
for Skyrim, because I grinded like all of the Thieves Guild. There's this one thing. It was like the achievement was called Restore the Thieves Guild to its former glory, and you had to spend literally. I think I spent like 12 hours just doing like fetch quests where you like write charters, steal from this person. It was so cool because it was like, wow, this game is giant, but it was probably the worst achievement ever in that game because it was so annoying to get.
It was a hard one, yeah.
But
I had actually fun doing that quest line. But Nissan, you were gonna say something?
No, I'll go though.
I thought I heard Nissan go and then Matt interrupted him.
Yeah.
No,
any features from a Bethesda published game that could end up in a future Fallout game. Let's see what else we got. I recommended a rage weapon. Any other ideas?
I was thinking like Dishonored, like the stealth, because Fallout's AI is atrocious.
Oh yeah.
So I was thinking, because I was thinking like, because I like to sneak around a lot, and then to not be able to do that too much in Fallout, I was kind of disappointed. But
I agree.
I really like
At least
in
now.
Fallout.
Back then it wasn't that big of a deal, but now it's kind of like with all these.
Once
games.
you have Dishonored, but again, Dishonored came out after, so we could see that,
Yeah, but like now that it's at that point where you.
Although even in Skyrim, the sneaking wasn't that great.
It was a lot better though.
It was better, but it wasn't. That's not saying a lot.
Yeah,
like,
it was really based off your skill, which I kind of hate about these games because like if you're crouched and a mile away from this person, they can still hear you all the way down the tunnel through an explosion. They're like, "Huh? What was that?" And it's like, "What the fuck? How'd you hear me?"
The one thing I will say about Fallout though is that I love being able to snake and getting criticals with like a sniper and watching their head explode on one bullet. That is a really, really cool feature that I hope they bring back in Fallout 4 because a sneak playthrough in Fallout is actually really fun. I don't know if many people do it. It's all guns blazing with plasma rifles, etc. But try it. Next time you're playing Fallout, just get out your sniper and try sneak around. It's a really different take on the game.
Yeah, I had to kind of do that to a degree for hardcore because I didn't want to like confront because I was playing on very hard. I didn't want to like confront everything like right there. So I had to like sneak around and like pick people off and it was fun. But any other features we got, boys? We got Dishonored. We got something from Rage.
I don't know. Honestly, maybe
a little dual wielding from Wolfenstein.
I was about to say dual wielding from Dishonored, actually, like having a pistol in one hand and a melee weapon in the other hand. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be some like solid Snake stuff because he always carries around the pistol and knife.
Or like we'll mix mine and Maddie's ideas, having a gun in one hand and that boomerang in the other hand from Rage. That'd be awesome.
Yes. Oh yes. These are some crazy ideas, but I think the best one is like revamping the stealth and some rage weapons wouldn't hurt. That'd be pretty cool. But anyways, moving on to the final question from Twitter from 10100101. He asks, "What are your best gaming moments since you started gaming?"
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
Yeah.
Gonna have to think about that. Actually, I got a good one. I'll go. It's playing. Or back in the day when I was a kid, playing Zelda Ocarina of Time with my brother and my cousin. The way it was set up is my brother had the controller, he would play the game. My cousin was the strategist and he would say, all right, do this, do that, this is where you need to go. And I would just watch them play, and it was one of the most enjoyable things, like enjoyable gaming experiences that I ever had, and I wasn't actually playing. It was just one of those moments I'll always think back and be like, wow, that was awesome. I really want to try that again, but now we're all old and don't play video games anymore.
I think I have one, so I'm gonna go next.
Yeah, go.
I think mine is probably playing on PS2 War of the Monsters with my brother, which it's literally like you choose these giant monsters to like fight. It's a fighting game, and it was.
I'm sorry. I just thought the greatest story. No, you keep going. I'm just like,
okay, Matt.
Matt just starts laughing out of nowhere.
But it was just really cool. It's a game. You have the cityscape and you like destroy the city while you're fighting, and it's such a cool game. And I don't know how many people know about it. I hope a lot because it's such an awesome game. But look it up if you don't. But
mine starts off nice, but it ends pretty hilariously. If that's even a word. So
get the dictionary.
So before I had like all my systems in my room with like my own TV, in my basement used to be where like I'd have a TV and my PS2 hooked up, and then to the right,
have a TV down there?
I do, but it was totally different. Like I had a whole cabinet along the wall. Like when you walk in my basement to the right, it was so ghetto, and there'd be like a TV on a table, and the system would be below that. And so I'd have my PS2 on the left TV, and then on the right TV would be my brother and his original Xbox. And so we'd always sit there and play games together. And I just remember having a bunch of fun times doing that. But there's this one specific time. My brother just got Madden 2004 on launch day. And so I'm just sitting there. I think I'm playing, ironically, I swear that no, this is not set up. I was playing Jimmy Neutron Jet Fusion. You'll know why that's funny at the end of this. But I'm just sitting there playing this. And like my brother is just launch day for this game raging at Madden 2004. Like he's freaking out so much. Nothing's working out for him. And all of a sudden the game freezes and says something on screen like you're going to have to like clean the disc or something like that. He's like, oh, really? You think I'm going to have to clean the disc? So he fucking squats down. He takes the disc out of his system. I just remember seeing him in the most enraged face, snapping this disc in absolute rage, just breaking it in half and just dropping it with the most pissed off look in his face. He's like, that was fucking clean. And he just walked out.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just sitting there like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
He gets so mad. It was so funny. But that's not like one of the best game modes. That's one of the funniest ones I've seen because I remember laughing. One of the best ones I'll say though, as a more humble one, was just before, like, whenever we had 2-hour delays for school because of snow or whatever, we'd have my neighbors over and be me, my brother, and some of our friends, and we'd all just like play Halo before school, and that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Halo Combat Evolved, baby. That's my shit.
I remember the first LAN I ever did was with Halo 2, and I brought my
MLG Noah 420.
I brought my
LAN
Xbox
party
over to my neighbor's house, and we LAN'd up Halo 2, and that was like the first non-split screen multiplayer I ever had, and it was fucking sick.
Cool.
That's awesome. What's your best
Nissen?
gaming moment, Nissen?
Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds, I think. It was
Galactic Battle.
it was another Star Wars strategy game from years ago.
You are into those games, those strategies.
Yeah, I think that was because I was like, oh God, I was so young. And that was what got me into strategy and RPG games because I was usually playing like, I think it was like Halo or Call of Duty or something like that, like first-person shooters. And then I sat down on my dad's PC and he gave me this game. He's like, here, play this. And like, I was amazed at like the freedom you had of like, you could do whatever you want. You could put these buildings here. You could tell these guys to do this. And I was just like,
sick, yeah.
I was amazed.
That's really cool how your dad plays video games as well. I wish I had that.
I suddenly now feel bad.
It was my brother and my cousin. That was it.
Anyways, those are the 5 fan questions for the week. Thank you for sending in your questions. You can always send them in using the hashtag Ham Radio Time. Tweet at one of us using the handles on screen.
Really quickly, the Ham Radio hashtag is to be entered exactly how it is shown on screen. We had some people try to do hashtag H.A.
Oh yeah.
It was like that's not going to work.
We're not going to see you because what we do is either we look at our mentions when you decide to tweet at us, or we'll type in the hashtag on the search bar and we'll look at all what you guys are saying. So sometimes you guys don't even have to tweet at us. You can just use the hashtag.
Yeah.
But it's entirely up to you. But anyways, be sure to tweet us in answer to the question at the beginning of the podcast. Let me scroll up on my document and find out what that was.
My document.
The question was, what was your most facepalm-worthy moment in a Bethesda game? Be sure to tweet us using the hashtag HamRadioTime in order to enter to be our 4th guest on the podcast with Nissan. But before we end this, we have a new little segment, the link of the week. This might come around every now and then. We don't know. But this is all Noah. And he watches the most ridiculous videos on YouTube. And if you pay attention to our Twitter, you'll notice that we were having a little interesting Jimmy Neutron discussion. And there'll be a link in the description down below. Noah will describe what this video is. But
well, I'm not describing it.
Oh, okay. So you're just going to have them.
It's a surprise. It's really
I'll leave you guys with the name of the video.
The Adventures of Carl Wheezer.
All right. And I'm going to have a link in the description down below.
What the fuck is this, guys?
Please.
I'll put the link in the chat right now. And you guys can use that link in the descriptions and whatnot.
I'm afraid to click on it. I really am.
It's a 30-second video. It doesn't take much of your time. And when you watch this video, you're going to watch some of the videos on the right side, the recommended videos about Carl Wheezer. And you'll start laughing and you'll understand a lot of me and Noah's jokes on Twitter.
Croissant.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But we figured this would make you guys understand this a bit more.
Hopefully make you laugh. Yeah.
Oh, God.
But anyways, that is the end of this week's Ham Radio podcast. Thank you all for tuning in this long. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Thank you, Nissan, for being our first guest for this wonderful podcast.
Yay.
And like I said, we want you to join the podcast. So answer the question I stated before because I don't remember it again. Use the hashtag Ham Radio Time.
Most facepalm worthy moment.
Yeah.
Well, that's Maddie's facepalm worthy
moment.
moment.
Yeah. So thank you all for your time. We hope to see you guys next week. Other than that, catch you later.
Thank you for the support too, because the support has been fantastic.
Oh yeah,
yes, thank
you so much.
Yeah,
guys.
my goodness, overwhelming.
Absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and we'll catch you guys next episode.
Deuces.